Hello and welcome to my new podcast without Delaney Scalera, but I am interviewing Delaney Scalera.
Hey.
And the topic of our podcast in this unit is teacher shortage. So, Delaney Scalera, do you know about the teacher shortage going around globally?
I do, yes. My mom's a retired teacher, so I'm pretty up to date with it because she keeps up to date with all that stuff, so yes.
Have you seen any news or updates about the teacher shortage going around? Maybe some bills passed by our Governor Murphy?
Yes, I know there was a potential to bring back some retired teachers and give them kind of back their pay that they used to get with even extra money too going on. I'm not sure if they passed it, but I know it was up in the air.
So recently, I think in early December, there was a bill passed that actually eliminates the EDTAP, which is the Education Teachers Preparation Assessment test that basically has teachers get certified. So that test was eliminated so that teachers who want to pursue that career have a better chance of getting in. How do you feel about that bill getting passed?
I didn't even know that. So freshman year, I had a culinary teacher who was very good, but she ended up failing the test 3 times, and because of it, she couldn't teach at Roxbury High School and had to get another job. So I think that a test or something, it should be required. Maybe not as strict because of the circumstances, but I think there should be something still in place to test teachers and make sure that they're qualified enough for the job.
And as you said before, your mom's a retired teacher and she worked at Roxbury. Has she ever talked to you or had like a sit-down conversation with you about the teacher shortage? And have you seen any examples of the teacher shortage at Roxbury High School?
The only thing that she's ever said to me is like maybe she'll even come back. But I have seen examples here at Roxbury High School. Sometimes if a teacher's out, we sometimes don't have enough subs. So I've seen Mr. Miller, our principal, come in and sub some higher up people in the school district come and sub because we don't have enough substitutes. I know we do have permanent subs here in the high school. My TV teacher this morning was out and we had our permanent sub come in, but I know we're pretty short here even at Roxbury, and we've been hiring teachers recently, but no matter their qualifications, I feel like they still are being hired. Yes.
So how do you think that we can fix this issue? I know the teacher shortage has really hit New Jersey hard this year. I know we've dropped I think about 8,000 teachers in every district in New Jersey, which is an insane amount. So how do you think that we could fix this issue?
I feel like what's the word for it? What is it? The idea of being a teacher recently because of COVID isn't as popular as it used to be. It's kind of looked down upon now, and there's a lot of things going around that teachers aren't being paid enough, aren't being treated right. So some aspiring teachers aren't going for the job anymore because they're scared about it, and I feel like that is the total opposite. Being a teacher is amazing, and I think they should be paid what they deserved, and it's kind of sad knowing that the reputation around it isn't as positive as it used to be.
Yeah, so as for myself, I do want to be an educator. I want to be that teacher that can change a student's life. If they're having a really bad day, they can come into my classroom and just have lunch with me. And seeing this news about the teacher shortage really upsets me because I have, to be honest, I am a senior in high school. I have questioned becoming a teacher because of what is going on. The pay is very, very low recently just because of COVID. We are not getting treated right. Schools are not providing for us with our benefits, as teachers. So it is really scary to think about that. But how do you think I should feel about becoming a teacher now?
I think you should think it's an amazing...
It's loud.
I think it's an amazing privilege to be a teacher, and that the negative idea around it you should kind of just put to the side. I mean, I wanted to be a math teacher growing up, and even my mom, who was a math teacher, told me that I should really consider what I want to do in life because teachers aren't being paid what they should be. And at the time when my mom was here, she was one of the highest paid math teachers.
Oh, yeah.
And she said even that she should have been paid more, and also because she was a woman, and that's a whole different story in the education system. But I think that you should kind of push those aside, and your own teaching experience is your own teaching experience. It's nobody else's. And I think when you are thinking about becoming a teacher, you should really ask multiple teachers, male and female, or whatever anyone identifies as. You should really consider everyone's opinions into the process of becoming a teacher, because it's a big deal, and it's a big decision, and
It's a really big commitment.
It's a big commitment. You're locked in this job until I think now it's until you're 65. When my mom was a teacher, she didn't get her pension until she was 55, so now I think it's up to 65.
Yeah, it is.
So you have to really think about it. So maybe instead of getting your teaching license first, get an English major.
Take the alternative path
Yes.
to becoming a teacher.
Take a major that can bring you multiple ways.
Yeah. So I went to a field trip to, where'd I go? Oh, Centenary University. And they always explored the option of alternative paths. And I was actually kind of inspired by that, because if I just got my teaching certification, I became a teacher, like, I can't really get another job with that. I can only be a teacher, and then after that, what? I'm just a teacher without a school. So I think that route of taking, like, if I want to be an English teacher, I take English as my major. If I want to be a business teacher, take business as my major, because that was going to be my other major that I was going to pursue. If I didn't want to be a teacher, was business. So might as well just kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But do you have any other thoughts on the teacher shortage and how it's affected our school personally or globally? Anything?
I think it's definitely affected our school. I think it's affected schools all around. And I just think the idea of being a teacher needs to be more positive than negative, as it's been around, I feel like, because of COVID. Most people don't want to be teachers because it's stressful. Teaching in COVID times is hard, but COVID is over now. I mean, it's still going on, but, like, it's over now. Like, we're at the brink of it. So really just have a positive outlook on it, and don't let other people's negatives affect your decision when it comes to it. Make your decision yourself, and I wish you the best.
Thank you, Delaney Scalera. So I'll see you guys on our next episode of the Teacher Shortage Podcast. I don't know what to name yet. All right, so I'm here with
Caroline Clucci.
All right, so do you know about the teacher shortage happening?
I was not aware of the teacher shortage happening.
Do you know what a teacher shortage is?
The lack of available teachers.
Exactly. So since you know what a teacher shortage is, have you ever experienced or seen a teacher shortage problem at Roxbury High School?
I've had a couple classes where there was substitutes for extended amounts of time, and we couldn't get a replacement teacher in that subject, so we often had to teach ourselves our own lessons. So that's when I experienced it.
And has you been teaching yourself and, like, other students been teaching themselves, has that affected the way you learn or being educated at this school?
I think that it's harder to get a better understanding of the information without the assistance of a teacher, and it takes the students longer to learn it. And there's also not abundance of availability to get extra help in those classes too, with the teacher shortage.
All right, so I want to inform you that there was a bill passed by Governor Murphy that eliminates the EDTAP, which is the Education Teaching Preparation Assessment. So it's basically a test for teachers to become certified to actually teach. How do you feel about that being eliminated? Is that a bad thing, a good thing? How do you feel?
I think that if they don't have to take a test, then teachers would be underqualified, but then it would just be putting more people in classrooms, which I think is necessary. But I think that the teachers should have to be able to take this eventually, because you can't really educate students if you don't know the material yourself.
Yeah, I feel like if teachers are underqualified, I don't think it's a good environment for the students, but also at the same time having an adult presence in a classroom is also very important just for, like, having rules being established and behavioral being set in place, like things like that. Do you have anything else to add about the teacher shortage or any questions you want to ask me?
No questions, that's all.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Caroline.
You're welcome.
Hello, so welcome back. I'm here with...
Cal Finley. Michael Pia.
Alyssa Cambiotti.
So I want to ask you guys one question, then we'll go about that question. Do you guys know about the teacher shortage going on in New Jersey and also nationwide?
I've heard about it.
Yeah.
I have not heard about it.
So for the people who do know about it, what have you guys heard about it so maybe we can educate the ones who don't know much about it?
I mean, I know there's not a lot of teachers. Nobody's willing to teach these days, so I know that's a big problem.
Yeah, I agree with Cal on that.
All right, so we have a new member joining into our podcast right now. So your name is?
Vanessa Suarez.
All right, so do you know anything about the teacher shortage going around in New Jersey globally?
The teacher shortage? I know that many teachers have decided to... Actually, I don't know anything. I tried to make it up.
So basically, teacher shortage is where there's a shortage of teachers. There's not a lot of teachers willing or able to start teaching just because of reasons like payment at schools or treatment or just the environment that they're in or just the way their lifestyle has been playing out for them. So I just want to let you guys know that there has been a bill passed by Governor Murphy that eliminates the EDTAP, which is Educational Teaching Assessment like preparation test for teachers to become certified. So that leaves out a bunch of like mixed emotions. So it could have a negative side and it could have a positive side too. What do you guys?
They got rid of the license that you could get?
Yeah, so basically this test determines if they get the certification to become a teacher.
Oh, if they're eligible?
Yes. So
And they got rid of it.
Yeah, so
now
it's easier.
anybody could basically become a teacher if they have a degree.
Yeah, so basically
You just have to graduate college.
yeah, you have to graduate and then you have to go through a series of like different tests, but it's a series of tests, not just like one big test that costs like $300. So
Do the other tests cost money? Like, is it going to be
I don't
money
think
in
so.
the
I
end?
think
Substitute teacher.
So now it's easier and cheaper to become a teacher?
basically, so this is because they want Hola. So basically they're doing this because they want to have a more teachers basically, so they're trying to make everything easier for people to want to come into this career.
Aren't the teachers not as qualified?
So that's a negative side.
And
So
you're not getting like the most like you know what I mean? Like you're not getting the best teacher.
Yeah, they're not getting the best teachers. They're not getting the best person for their environment. So that's why I was asking if you guys see that as a negative side or as a positive side. Do you see it as a negative side or as a positive side?
I mean, you can go both ways. I think the negatives are the standards are lower, but some positives, you can get more teachers going, stop the problem at its source.
Yeah, so it puts more teachers into schools, and it also gives kids and students that adult figure in a classroom, that adult presence also to like stop their behavior or continue the good behavior, like to praise them and stuff like that. So Mikey, how do you feel about this test?
I also agree with Cal because them just letting like anybody really become a teacher doesn't really show like that they could actually teach kids. So I really disagree with Cal on what he said there.
I feel like I disagree because then many people straight out of college are just going to use this teaching position as a way to make money, and it's not going to be really a way to impact students' lives. It's more an easy money job.
Yeah, so we're seeing like quality over quantity right now.
Yeah.
Like we want like good teachers for students, and also like I mean like we're gonna have kids one day. Like we want them to have good teachers. We don't want them to just have like teachers in the high school.
Mm-hmm.
So Alyssa, what do you think about this?
I agree with Vanessa on her.
Statement.
Yeah, on her statement.
Perfect. All right, do you four have any more opinions or thoughts about this topic of my podcast?
No, I think you summed it up pretty well. I think very comprehensive explanation right there. So, yeah.
All right.
I think that this talk was very informative, and now moving forward, I have something to think about when going into the teaching world if I do decide to become a teacher one day.
And have you guys ever experienced this at Roxbury High School? Just mind me asking.
What?
Like any teacher
quantity over
shortage?
quality?
Yeah, like if you've seen like a teacher and like, or you've had so many subs in a class that you barely like remember having a teacher in that class, like anything like that.
Not really.
I feel like there's not really a huge shortage here.
Yeah. I feel like Roxbury's done a good job in keeping the teachers wanting to stay.
Yeah, I think that too.
I agree. I don't think I've experienced it personally, but I've definitely heard about it over the news.
I don't think they want to stay though.
Probably not.
I agree with Vanessa on I don't think they want to stay. The teaching shortage, one of the big problems is most definitely the students, especially here at Roxbury, because not gonna lie, these students are whack.
Very whack. Wise words, Mikey. All right. Thank you guys so much for
Thank
being
you.
in my podcast. I really appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you.
Of course. All right. Welcome back to my teacher shortage podcast. So I'm here with
Alexis.
Joe.
All right. So, do you guys know about the teacher shortage happening in New Jersey and also nationwide?
No.
Do you know what a teaching shortage is?
The shortage of teachers.
Perfect. That is literally what it is. So basically, teacher shortage is when there is a lack of teachers at schools. It could be public, private, anything, but private is more. They have more teachers than whatever because they don't need that many teachers, you know. So, have you ever experienced a shortage of teachers at Roxbury High School in your classes personally, or ever heard about it around Roxbury High School?
No.
I think so. We've had a few times where subs never showed up and we just kind of were left alone in the room.
Yeah, there's that like 30 minutes where there's like no teacher and you're like, what do we do?
I would just leave at that point.
Yeah. So I want to tell you guys about this bill that was recently passed by Governor Murphy. It is basically, so he eliminated the EDTAP, which is the Education Teachers Preparation Assessment. So this test basically certifies teachers to be able to teach. He eliminated this so it's easier for teachers to actually teach because the test does cost like $300 and it is a hard test. So he eliminated this and set into place a series of different tests like classroom, like observing and stuff like that. So how do you feel? Are there any negative or positive thoughts on eliminating this test that actually like certifies a teacher, like certifies them to know what they're doing in a classroom? How do you feel about this test being eliminated?
I feel like they shouldn't eliminate it because like I feel like teachers, like new teachers, might not be as qualified as like older teachers. I feel like they should have just like waived the fee of the test and just kept the test.
Yeah, I like that answer. All right.
Yeah, I think getting rid of it isn't a good thing because, you know, if teachers aren't qualified to teach, then that's affecting the students and the students aren't going to be able to learn as well.
Yeah. So me personally, I want to be a teacher in the future. We might have a new member coming into our podcast. We'll make Peak. Would you like to be in my podcast?
Sure.
All right, come here.
Oh, what's up?
All right.
Oh, wait, I didn't know this was that serious.
It's okay. So, do you know what a teacher shortage is?
Yes,
All right. How much do you know about it?
a lot, because I want to be a teacher.
Perfect. Let's hear what you know about it.
That the teaching people, less people are going into teaching because of money and how hard it is.
Perfect description. So I was just telling our other members, Alexis and Joe, that there was a bill recently passed by Governor Murphy that eliminates the EDTAP, or is it EDTPA? I always get confused with that. I don't know. Probably. Same thing. One of them is right.
Just a bunch of letters.
But that test
That means
is
something.
educational teaching assessment preparation. That is a test that certifies teachers to actually know what they're doing in a classroom and to actually qualify them to become a teacher in whatever state they're in. The test is $300, but it has been eliminated in the state of New Jersey. So how do you feel about that? Do you have any negative thoughts, positive thoughts about how that could affect students and public schools?
Well, there's certain teachers that I think shouldn't even have passed that test in our school. So the fact that they're just getting rid of it just kind of like negates the fact that they're like, we're doing it, you know? So like I don't really think it's going to have a large effect on everything because it's just one less checkbox for teachers to do. Whereas like before they had to get more certification and it would be actually harder to become a teacher. But I think they're just trying to get more teaching jobs.
Yeah.
Circulation.
Yeah, I agree. So basically, they're almost doing this just so they could have teachers in a classroom, just to be like presence, to have an adult presence in the classroom, and to be able to benefit the students by being there and helping them with their behavioral issues and stuff like that. But do you guys think that it is quality over quantity or quantity over quality with teachers?
I think it depends on the school. I think the school should decide whether they want teachers who are certified in this program or not.
I think the school wants quantity over quality, but I think we need quality over quantity.
Yeah, I believe that. What do you think, Alexis?
I think quality matters more because you can have a lot of teachers and learn nothing. And if you don't have a teacher that you like and respect that teaches you, then you're just going to end up failing.
Yeah. Do you guys think that students are also a factor in the reasons why there are teacher shortages around the world?
Oh yeah, teachers tell me all the time they hate
Yeah,
kids, and I was like,
a lot of
you shouldn't be a
students are
teacher.
menaces.
Yeah. Well,
Like I
What do you
remember
mean by
last
that?
year when there's like students who like spit on teachers who were waiting outside the bathrooms, and there was like a lot of problems with all that stuff. And even there's a lot of like disrespect with teachers who don't even like do anything. Like I hear the attendance officer, the amount of disrespect that she gets for just standing there and not doing anything is like insane. Like just because that they're an authority figure, people automatically like assume that they're bad, assume that they're against them.
Yeah. Do you want to say something, Cal?
I mean, I think that's part of it.
Oh, by the way, Cal's back.
Part two. I think it's part of it, but I think a major part of it is the pay and the fact that it's not great and they can't live off of it. So they're like it's hard for them to survive off it.
I also think that it's not only the students, and like Cal said, it's kind of the pay, and it's also more towards the administration, because when things happen and a student disrespects a teacher and they have no backup, and that teacher's just going to want to leave because they don't want to deal with it anymore.
Yeah, I've heard many horror stories from my teachers that I am very close with about students disrespecting them in so many ways that I think that are completely unacceptable, because me personally, I do want to become a teacher in the future, but I have questioned my career a couple of times that I want to do just because of what is happening recently, and I'm questioning if it's ever going to get better if no one's doing anything to fix it globally, because I know they are fixing them in different states, but not globally. Sorry, there's some goons in this podcast. So that is just my opinion, because I want to be a teacher. I know Will McPeak also does want to be a teacher. So
Correct.
How do you feel about this almost affecting us? Because we are seniors, we want to go to college for this. So how do you feel this will affect us?
Well, like I said, I think they should change the test to where it's based off of what the school wants. So I think that if the school wants teachers who are less quality over quantity, that they should not have the test, and they should just be like, hey, anybody can come here. But then they should also have like more checks, like not maybe give them tenure as quick and things like that, and have like more oversight over them. So I think that it's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time, because it could affect everybody differently.
Yeah, I do agree. All right. So thank you guys so much. Do you guys have any last questions or thoughts or opinions on the teacher shortage for my podcast?
No.
No, I'm good.
All right. Thank you guys so much.